yards on the play, which is well short of what he needed. So, again, Rancho going to have to decide a few things here, maybe adjust a little bit and try to throw routes that aren't going to take so long to develop.
Los Amigos takes over on downs, 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. Up the middle is Greg Fausto. Look out for Greg Fausto. He's finally brought down by the other quick back, and that is Leo Cosi.
That's right, Gordon. Hey, you know, you're seeing two of the county's premier running backs in Greg Fausto and Leo Cosi, but they also play good defense, too, out on the corner there. And if it probably was anybody other than Leo out there on the corner, Greg probably would have had another touchdown.
There we take a look at that play again. There you see him caught from behind, and a nice tackle there by Leo Cosi.
Yeah, Greg Fausto is just so quick and explosive.
8 minutes and 10 seconds left, 1st and 10 for the Lobos after an 18-yard gain by Fausto. Fausto will get the ball again. This time only makes it out to around the 40-yard line of Los Amigos.
David Vickers, number 2 there, Gordon, did a good job filling and wrapping up Greg Fausto around the ankles, and that's probably the best way to try to get him down. You know, you're going to have to tie up both his feet, not just one. David did a real good job of wrapping up and hanging on.
There you see John Frank talking to the varsity receiver coach over there, Mike Lantcott. Second and 8, Fausto. Again, not much room.
Yeah, they were running Greg. Looks like he was tracking off tackle, and things were getting squeezed down, and he tried to bounce to the outside, but they could have had good, Rancho had good contain work on that left side over there, the Los Amigos offense, and held Greg.
So 3rd down and 6 for the Lobos. 7 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first half. Little play action there. Jake Sanchez will makes his way out of the hands of the defender. That's number 23.
Yeah, Steve Collins there, Gordon, on the outside. Did a good job of staying pretty much at home and keeping Fausto on his inside shoulder, or keeping Jake Sanchez on his inside shoulder on that play action.
There you take a look at Nestor Alvarez. Nestor, a very good career while he played here at Rancho Alamitos.
Geez, Rancho had all those guys that took up almost the whole screen, you know, when you put them on.
Ryan Cleary will kick this one away. Just barely gets rid of that one. Aaron Trigg takes it at the 30-yard line. Trigg piled on there.
Yeah, Aaron Trigg there from Rancho Alamitos did a good job of catching that punt so it wouldn't bounce and roll. You know, we talked about last week's game with Chase Ham of Pacifica. You know, your good return people, the guys are going to be courageous enough to step up and catch that ball and not let it bounce and roll. That's a coach's nightmare, to watch that ball just rolling closer and closer to your goal line off a punt. So, good job. There's Aaron. Pretty versatile, good size, 6'3", 190 senior.
And Trigg also the punting duties on the team. Clock continues to run, 6 minutes left in this first half. 1st down and 10 for Rancho. The ball given up there to number 2, David Vickers.
Yeah, David running a little, looks like a little veer there off tackle. That gives a little option look there, and John Frank handing the ball off, and David gets 5 yards.
All right, well, let's head back down to the field and find out what Jeremy Woods has to tell us.
Guys, I was just talking. I was actually overhearing a conversation between the receivers coach, Mike Langcott, and John Frank and a couple of the receivers. He says he doesn't have enough time to throw. Look for the short pass over the middle. They say it's open. Back to you.
And that's exactly what they call there. The short pass over the middle completed there to David Vickers.
Again, Rancho uses David Vickers quite a lot as a receiver out of the backfield, and you know, he's got a good sense of where he is on that field. He catches the ball and gets squared up field and starts moving in a hurry. You don't see him dancing too much, and that's one of the keys for David. He's able to get a lot of yardage when he gets turned and headed upfield.
So David gets 10 yards, enough for the first down. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half. First and 10 for the Vaqueros on the 43-yard line. Not much there. Vickers.
Yeah, David was squirting through there. Looked like a guard tackle gap play there. And, you know, if Rancho continue to do this, though, Gordon, that puts them in pretty good shape. You know, they're able to get 2, 3, 4 yards a clip. That's enough. I think Rancho, one of their game plans, too, is they've got to keep the football away from the Los Amigos offense, Gordon. If they just keep giving the offense from Los Amigos chance after chance, pretty soon that's going to be too much for the defense to have to handle. So, again, Rancho, ball control, possession passes, and it'll keep them in good shape here.
Looks like they've been successful at doing that. Now just trying to get some points on the board. Now a flag is thrown. And too much time taken by Rancho. They'll get marched back 5 yards.
Yeah, that's something that Rancho can ill afford, is a delay a game. You're getting yardage. You want to keep going in a positive direction.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we're going to take a look at a scholar athlete. Athletes seem to get a lot of bad press sometimes when it comes to scholastics, but in our halftime focus this week, our Channel 3 reporter Eileen Spila will take a look at a Rancho student who's made a good debut out here on the football field, as well as quite a student in the classroom.
Yeah, and there goes David Vickers again on the little dive play, and again, they're able to get 4.5 yards.
Also, we want to thank our Channel 3 sports sponsor, Los Sanchez Mexican Restaurant, located down on Harbor Boulevard. Give them a call, 971-5883. We want to thank them for providing the pregame meal. Always gets us going early. 3rd down and 9. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half. Frank under pressure. Tagatuli gets a piece of him, and finally, number 30 brings him down. That's Sam Famasili.
Well, Rancho came out in a double situation there where they had 2 receivers on both sides of the football. But again, John Frank is getting so much pressure that I can't see Rancho trying to throw long downfield much longer. They're going to have to do things that don't take quite so much time, because John, I'm afraid, just not going to get the time that he needs.
So that will force Rancho to punt. Aaron Trigg back to punt it away, and Greg Fausto awaits downfield. Trigg gets a lot of that one. Fausto, no fair catch called, and right there is number 42 for Rancho. That's Frank Ortiz.
Yeah, Gordon, that was tremendous punt coverage by the Rancho Alamitos punt team and Frank Ortiz. He timed his hit just right. Fausto makes the catch, and he's met right after the catch by Ortiz. Good special teams play by Rancho.
So just over 2 minutes left in the first half. Los Amigos. Seems like a rare opportunity that they're getting here on offense. Rancho keeping that possession and that clock running in their favor, but the scoreboard tells otherwise. The Lobos with a 7-0 lead. Greg Fausto.
Yeah, this could be interesting here, Gordon. It's with Coach Takahashi's 2-minute offense here. He's known to pull every play out of his bag of tricks, so we'll see what he does. If he throws some screens or draws, or just what he decides to do.
Well, we haven't seen Jacob Sanchez put it in the air yet. Pretty successful at quarterback back there, 62% completion rate. 2nd down and 6. Sanchez gets this one to Sean Tagatuli.
Yeah, Tagatuli takes a dive right up the middle, and he's met by the heart of the Rancho defense.
There you take a look at Turnbull Mulapola, waiting to get back in the game next week.
All right, look now for the ball to go in the air. You're right at about a minute left in the half, and you got a little bit more than half the field to go, Gordon. So let's see if Los tries to put it in the air here.
Just under a minute to play. Los Amigos running the clock, taking all the time they want. They're going to call a timeout.
Whoops. Something went haywire.
Jake Sanchez was...
Jake decides, hey, wait a minute. I better,
there, right?
Yeah, I better check this with Coach before I do something that might get me in trouble.
He was up there an awful long time. There's John Frank, hoping he'll have another opportunity before this half runs out. Get his offense back on the field. He's been sacked 4 times tonight by that Lobo defense.
Yeah, we talked about it before the game, Gordon, and you know, you talk about John Frank and Jake Sanchez. Both these quarterbacks are schooled and drilled, and they know what they're doing. They're the generals out there, and both Coach Case and Coach Takahashi have a lot of trust in those 2 young men running their offenses. So if Jake has to take a timeout, that's not a bad decision on his part.
John Frank coming off a outstanding week last week, throwing for nearly 200 yards. Actually, that was against La Quinta in a 41-14 victory, his best performance of the year. Don't forget about next week. These same Lobos will be back here once again to meet Garden Grove. It'll be the pre-Halloween game.
Yes, yeah. The black and orange of Los Amigos. Kind of fitting for a pre-Halloween game there.
Festive evening.
That's right. See what Garden Grove High thinks of it, though.
There's a lot of work to do over there. Fausto gets the call and gets met in the backfield by Sean Young.
Yeah, real nice play. Rancho's linebackers are stepped up and filled, and one of the rare times they've hit Greg Fausto in the backfield tonight, Gordon.
The clock is...
I think Rancho's going to complain here that the clock kept running after time was called. And the C official over on the sideline going to add some time back onto the clock.
Yeah, officials for tonight's game, the referee, Lee Phelps, umpire Carl Martin, the head linesman is Darrell Roberts, line judge is Joe Orduna, and the back judge, Hiram Travis. There you see the score, 7-0. The Lobos scoring back in the first quarter on a 23-yard run by Greg Fausto. And that has been it.
That has been it. The defenses have held their own.
Los Amigos, known for their defense in the first quarter. Teams that they've played average 2 points against them in the first quarter. So no surprises if you're into stats for the Lobos.
Yeah, what's going to be interesting to see, Gordon, with 45 seconds left in the first half is what kind of field position Rancho can get here. They drop Trigg back to his 33-yard line. And what kind of punt they can get from their kicker, Ryan Cleary.
Cleary with heavy pressure. There's Cosi. He's blocked one this year. Aaron Trigg, a fair catch is called. He'll down it at about the 29-yard line. So it will be interesting to see what the Rancho Vaqueros do now.
Yeah, they're either going to just kneel it and down it, or they might try for some two-minute drill of their own here.
2-minute drill in 39 seconds.
Yes.
That would be some magic there. 39 seconds left in the first half. And if you have a chance, it'd be great for you to take an opportunity and give us a call or write us. We'd like to hear your comments, your feedback on our broadcast. Help us out. We appreciate it. First down. Frank rolls out. Hits a wide open Vaquero, and he's going to go. Jake Sanchez is able to bring him down at the 40-yard line. That's number 81 with the completion, Taylor Yandel.
Yeah, Yandel worked himself over the middle, and John Frank made a wonderful pass, throwing against his body. Got the shoulders turned and was able to deliver the ball before he got hit, and then Yandel makes a nice run.
So you mentioned the 2-minute offense, and what a play call there by the Rancho offense. That play good enough for 30 yards. They are now at the 39-yard line of the Lobos.
Yeah, real nice play. And you can see on the replay here, John's going to roll to his left. And he's going to start feeling backside pressure coming. They motion David Vickers across. And as John Comes out, he's getting pressured by Tagatuli, but he can throw against his body there and makes a good accurate throw. That's a tough throw for a quarterback. And then Yandel does a little sidestepped whoop-de-doo deal, and up the field he goes.
Is that a coach's term?
Yeah, I think so.
The old whoop-de-doo play.
We tell you, yeah, run the whoop-de-doo. We need 30 yards, so whoop-de-doo it.
If it works, then, you know.
We put it in next week, and if it doesn't, then we scratch it.
Goes along with that 70s theme. I guess they have the dippity-doo play, too.
There you go. Just don't want your receivers moonwalking.
So whistle is blown at the start of that play. First down and 10, 27 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, it looked like John just tried to kill it there. And they're going to try to get something up from the sidelines here. Coach Case is sending in a play here. So we'll see what they've got up their sleeve here.
You know, there's always talk of momentum, and
yeah,
boy, this would really do something to the Vaqueros if they were able to put some points on the board with only 27 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Gordon.
John Frank barks out the signals, rolls back for a quick play, but there's just no way he hits Aaron Trigg.
Yeah, they were streaking Trigg down the right sideline there, and he was covered real well. And so about all John could do was just lay it way out in front, so he didn't risk the interception there. He still got plenty of time, though, 24 seconds, you know, and that's a lot of time when you're throwing the ball.
There's number 28 is getting helped off the field. I hope he will return. He'll get a break. In this one, 24 seconds left in the first half. 7-0. The Lobos still holding on. Rancho at the Lobo 40-yard line. Frank again rolls out, avoids some pressure, and almost throws it away to Jake Sanchez. Intended there for number 80, Bobby Esparza.
Yeah, John had another rollout going, trying to escape the pressure, and he was able to pull up and just misfired. He overthrew Esparza. But again, the clock stops on that incomplete pass, so Rancho's got a chance, Gordon, for another play.
And that'll be exactly what they have. It's 4th down and 10.
Yeah,
they need at least 10 to extend this drive.
Exactly. You know, with their wideouts especially, their receivers are going to have to know exactly how far down the field they're going to have to get. And John Frank knows how far his receivers are going to have to get for that first down.
Taylor Yandel, Frank Ortiz set up behind each other as wide receivers this side. Frank under pressure. He's going to be sacked again. Again by Junior Violatama.
Well, you know, the frustrating thing for Rancho there is that they're getting overpowered on the backside, and they're just not able to free John Frank long enough to give him time to throw, you know, the distance that they want him to throw right now. So I would imagine that there's going to be some adjustments made at halftime here so that they can, you know, pick up that backside pressure, or they're just going to have to go to quicker routes, you know, shorter routes where John can maybe 3 or 5 step drop and let it fly.
John Frank gets the dirt dug out of his helmet. 5th time he's been sacked in the game this evening.
Yeah, John's going to find his buddy on the team with the jacuzzi after this one, you know, and probably sit in that for quite a while.
Getting pretty dirty out there early.
Yeah, you hate to see your quarterback having to pick grass out of his face mask. That's
not a good sign of any protection, I guess.
Not a good sign.
11 seconds left, so Los Amigos will have an opportunity to get their offense back on the field.
Well, and you might even see Los going for something with 11 seconds. You know, they can get one long pass play off, or maybe 2 shorter ones, and maybe they can get somebody to catch. And remember, Ryan Cleary's got tremendous field goal range, so if they can get the ball down to about the 35, you might see Coach Takahashi go ahead and try to kick a field goal.
That's right, Ryan Cleary with an opportunity to break that record if he gets the chance. Jake Sanchez will air this one out, but that's going to be thrown up. Aaron Trigg intercepts it, but then loses it and keeps the presence to toss it up to, we'll check his number there. But what a play that was.
Yeah, it looks like Mike Hanlon was the man that came up with that. I don't know if Aaron Trigg was trying to ladle that ball or if he just coughed it up, but Hanlon was in the right spot at the right time. And with 1 second left, we'll see See what Rancho can do now.
So Jake Sanchez gave it everything he had on that one. 1 second left on the clock in this first half. And that was a very, very interesting play.
Well, you know, Jake did have a receiver open down the side, but it looked to me that when he released the ball, the point of the football was aiming almost straight up in the air, and you kind of get a dead duck effect sometimes. The ball really hangs up there rather than, cutting straight through the air and the nose coming down over the top. But I think he thought, oh, man, I better heave this thing. And every once in a while, when that elbow drops down below the armpit, you can get a wobbler going.
John Frank didn't think he'd have another opportunity to get that out there on offense. He took his time returning to the huddle. And there will be one more chance.
Yeah, 1 second.
With 1 second left, they're at the 35-yard line in their own territory. You got to, I guess the safe play would probably be the way to go.
Well, the thing I'd be concerned about here is dropping John back and somebody teeing off on him on the last play of the half. They haven't been very successful protecting him. And you don't want your quarterback going in at half injured.
And they stay on the ground safe. Leo Kosi, we'll see how far he can get as the clock runs out. Kosi gets just short of the 50-yard line, but that's going to do it for the first half here at Garden Grove High School in a match between the Rancho Alamitos Vaqueros and the Los Amigos Lobos. The Lobos scoring once in the first quarter and hang on to a 7-0 lead. Stay tuned for our halftime feature, and we will be back after that halftime feature with the second half. Stay tuned.
From playing football, but in the classroom as well. The first-year place kicker manages to make every practice, football game, and still find time to study, giving him the highest GPA on the football team at 3.67. With a class load of Algebra 2 trig, chemistry, English, and learning about federalism in his civics class, when does he have time to hit the books?
This year's been a lot harder because of activities after football also. So I'm up pretty late. But I want to get to college. I need to grade to get to college, so that's that person I am.
Nick is doing well with even as he has a heavy load, he's doing well with that. He's got a B in my class, and I think that it's good for Nick. He's doing, he's playing well and doing well in class. He's still got a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm to participate in class and participate in discussions. He's getting his homework done.
The graduating senior joined the team this year, and Coach Case says Nick's abilities both on and off the field are impressive.
Well, field goal-wise, he's done a great job for us. Extra points, he hasn't missed any of those, and he's a fabulous kicker. He's a great kid to have on the team, and a great student in the classroom, and just one guy you love to have on the football team.
Maintaining good grades and playing football isn't Nick's only priority. His passion is kicking the ball of another sport, soccer. The star athlete has played on the school soccer team for 4 years and also plays on a club soccer team in Mission Viejo. And what about the Olympics?
Well, I don't know. I've been on the junior Olympic team, but I'm not too sure about the Olympic team right now. I'm really kind of waiting for college and think about that later.
Welcome back to Garden Grove High School, where we're just about set for the second half of a matchup between the Los Amigos Lobos and the Rancho Alamitos Vaqueros. I want to thank Eileen Spila for that halftime piece. Another thing that Nick Ortega also mentioned is he someday would like to be playing in the World Cup in soccer. So that would be quite a job to be able to do that. But, of course, he always puts his education first. And, by the way, also, according to Rancho Alamitos Athletic Director Dan Rankin, students must have no less than a 2.0 GPA to play sports, and it's something that you're probably very well aware of, Jeff Pinafay.
Oh, that's right, Gordon. With the 2.0 rule in effect now, which means that all the football players not only have to be responsible on the football field, but they need to be responsible in the classroom too. And our hat goes off to Nick for the not only outstanding job he does, Gordon, on the football field, but also his unselfishness towards the team and honoring his commitment to a 2.0. And I'll tell you, it sure makes it easy for the coaches when they don't have to worry about young men slipping under a 2.0. You got some young man that you're trying to count on, and all of a sudden he winds up with a 1.5, and that's probably nothing more than laziness and selfishness. And you know, as a coach, you'd hope that not only could you instill a positive work ethic on the field, but also in the classroom.
All right, well, let's get back to the game here and take a look at the first half summary of this game. Not a lot of offense put on the board, so it'll be a quick graphic for you there. You can take a look at it. In the first quarter, Greg Fausto with a 23-yard touchdown run. That has been the difference so far in this game. John Frank, of course, sacked by the defense 5 times by that Lobo defense. All right, well, let's head back down to the field to Jeremy Woods. He's had a chance to talk to the coaches and see what's going to be happening here in the second half for both teams. Jeremy.
Well, thanks, guys. I'm down here. First, a quick update on Adriel Gomez, Rancho's center. He had that stinger in his shoulder. He does not expect to go back in the game. His pads are off, in fact. And I overheard on the sideline the coaches saying this is what the game's all about. This is what football's all about, to be in a battle down 7-0. They don't think it's over. And I'm sure on the other sideline, Los is not happy with a 7-point lead. They're going to look to score more. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. And we'll be heading back down to the sidelines for some more reports from him before this game is out. And, of course, not real good news for the Vaqueros, not getting Adriel Gomez back like they thought they might.
Yeah, Rancho losing another offensive or defensive lineman is really critical because they come in, again, so short as it is, Gordon, with experienced linemen or, you know, any lineman for that matter, you know, able to play. And when you're playing such a physical team like Los Amigos, boy, you've got to have all the troops ready. And if Adriel can't go in, that's going to sure dampen the offensive line for Rancho.
All right, well, a lot riding on this game tonight for both teams. Los Amigos comes into this game at 1-1. Rancho Alamitos enters this one at 2-0-1. The tie coming with Pacifica last week. And at this point, just getting ready to start the second half, have word that the Pacifica Mariners, who are playing Santiago right now in a very big matchup that's going on at the same time, Pacifica with a 25-0 lead over the Cavaliers. And that's got to be good news for the Mariners because, of course, they only have to face La Quinta and Bolsa Grande the rest of the season in league.
That's right, Gordon. With, as you said, with Pacifica beating Los Amigos in the first game of the season, if Los Amigos were to beat Rancho tonight, which had tied Pacifica, then that puts Pacifica all alone in first place. And as you said, Pacifica's got La Quinta and Bolsa Grande left. So that puts Pacifica in the driver's seat, to say the least.
Santiago, who's sat on top so far this whole season, still has a real tough schedule ahead of them. They still have to face this Los Amigos team and this Rancho team.
Yeah, Santiago's got their work cut out for them now. You know, they play the top 3 teams right in a row, and that doesn't put them in an enviable situation.
So it looks like this is going to be another interesting end to the season for this league, and it's going to be a real toss-up, but it looks like Pacifica is getting more and more comfortable for taking that league title.
That's right.
We're just about set for the kickoff. Nick Ortega set to kick it off for the Rancho Alamitos Vaqueros. Back deep for Los Amigos is LaRue Carr, number 21, and Greg Fausto, number 8.
Well, it's going to be important for Rancho here to get a good kick, Gordon. You want to pin Los as deep in their territory as you can and work for field position off the kickoff.
Nick Ortega sends a line drive and a roller back to LaRue Carr. LaRue Carr takes it at the 10. LaRue tries to cut outside, but he's brought down at about the 15 of the Vaqueros. So just about a 5-yard return for Carr.
Yeah, that was a real nice play by Rancho's kickoff team. Again, we talked about trying to pin Los, Gordon, back deep in their territory. Now, if you can get in a situation where you can hold Los to 3 and out, you're going to get you as Rancho is going to get real good field position to start the second half.
There you take a look at the senior wide receiver, who's talking about trying to go to San Diego State to play. I haven't seen much of him in the first half, but he makes big plays when he gets the ball. There's Fausto talking of big plays, but he just gets a couple on this one on the first down for Los Amigos.
Yeah, he was met up in the line there by a host of Rancho linebackers. And they do a good job again of surrounding the ball carrier. You know, when you get running backs like Cozy and Fausto, your defense have got to surround those players because they're dangerous in any direction.
2nd down and 7, a 3-yard gain for Fausto. Jake will put it up this time, and he puts it out wide to number 80 for the Lobos. That's Joel Morales, senior wide receiver.
Los set up there in a doubles formation with one back where they had 2 wide outs on each side of the ball and ran a nice little stop pattern about 5 or 6 yards.
And there's take a look there at Jake Sanchez, who of course was a running back behind Ape Tuato last year, and he gets the call for the quarterback, and coach says he's done a very respectable job back there.
Yeah, Jake's had to work really hard, and he's done a real good job for Coach Takahashi in this offense.
So we have an injury on the far side of the field over there. Another Rancho Alamitos Vaquero down and being tended to.
You know, while we've got a moment here, Gordon, speaking of injuries, you know, I'd just like to send along our best wishes to Mr. Don Alexander, and who's recovering tonight from back surgery, and a lot of the Garden Grove League supporters will remember Don Alexander and Jim Tortolano as the men who got the Garden Grove Football League television game of the week started. So to Don Alexander, we send our best to you.
Definitely, they did get things started, and I know they're proud to see how this has grown over the years since they started it back in 1989. So best wishes to him. And Mike Hanlon, the injured Vaquero, holding on to that shoulder, but runs himself off the field and doesn't look like he's real happy.
No, something's hurting down in there. I'm going to get that checked.
Mike's on the move, tries to get his way out of there. 10 minutes and 40 seconds left, and there goes Sean Tagatuli, who breaks into the secondary and finally is brought down by the Vaqueros.
Holy Toledo, what they did was they lined up Tagatuli in the tailback spot and turned him loose and runaway freight train there. He got back into that second level of defense, and now he's got, you got a 220-pound running back operating against a 160-pound DB.
And there's a look at Sean. He's grown enormously over the summer. 1st down and 10 for Los Amigos. Fausto makes one move, cuts back inside, down to the 45-yard line of the Vaqueros.
Yeah, Los spread things out pretty good on Rancho's defense there, and they ran their Washington play, which is a counter tray where they pull the backside guard and tackle and try to get him up and into the hole for Greg Fausto to get in behind.
So Fausto gets 4, 2nd down and 6.
Now you see Los coming out with no backs. They got 5 wide outs.
So they're really testing the offense now. And the catch is made by Joel Morales, but he's just out of bounds. And what concentration Morales showed on that play.
Yeah, Gordon, you're right. That was great concentration by Morales and a good throw by Jake. He kept his receiver on the sideline. But also on that play, Alex Blanco, the DB from Rancho, did a real nice job of staying to the outside, too. A lot of times those DBs looking for the ball, they're going to drift into the playing field. But Alex was able to keep pressure and feel where Morales was and stay with him along the sideline. So that was a good play on both players' part.
So the Lobos trying to work the new guy, Alex Blanco, back there. 3rd down and 6. Fausto will eat his way up to about the 33-yard line. That's enough for a 1st down.
Well, you see vintage Greg Fausto there. You know, he's so quick. He's a darter and a dasher, and he just doesn't allow the defense to get a good solid hit on him, Gordon. And when you're as shifty as he is and heading up the field, you know, if you can't get him surrounded, he's going to continue to keep his feet moving, as you saw there, and get enough for the 1st down.
7-0 in the 3rd quarter. The clock continues to run. 9 minutes and 20 seconds left. 1st and 10 for the Lobos. At the 32-yard line of the Vaquero, Sean Tagatuli leaps for about 3 yards.
Yeah, Los is loading up that backfield now with a lot of beef. You know, they got the 2 big boys back there, and they're going to start pounding at Rancho now. they took Fausto that time and used him as a wide receiver on the right side out here.
2nd down and 5 for the Lobos. Joel Morales heads this way. Tagatuli on a wide receiver. Card on the far side, but it goes to Fausto. Fausto right up the middle, has one man to beat, makes a move to the left, and that's a touchdown.
Well, there's Coach Doc Ozzy's Washington play that we talked about earlier, a little counter action out of the backfield with Fausto, and boy, I'll tell you, that left guard and left tackle from Los got out and around and threw up into that, climbed into that hole, and they just escorted Greg right through those first couple levels of defense, and then the rest, he put a couple of moves on the DBs, on Trigg, and in he goes again for another touchdown. You can see here where the backside guard and tackle are climbing into the hole, and they bust things open, and now he's out roaming free in the secondary, and poor Aaron Trigg, you know, with trying to face up with somebody like that who knows where he's going, and Aaron doesn't. That's almost near impossible to stop.
Couldn't get a start on him, lost his footing there. Ryan Cleary is perfect, 2 for 2 and extra points as well. 14-0, the Los Amigos Lobos with the lead over the Rancho Alamitos Vaqueros. 8 minutes and 33 seconds left in this one. Greg Fausto with a 27-yard touchdown run.
Well, so far it's been 2 Greg Fausto long touchdown runs, and now it's time to see if Rancho's going to rise to the occasion and maybe get Leo Cozy sprung on one of his own.
Fausto, his 6th and 7th touchdown of the season. Well on his way to another 100-yard game.
Yeah, you've got the 3 top running backs in the Garden Grove League, and they're the top 3 scoring leaders in the league, too, which probably doesn't come as much surprise, but you've got Leo Cozy and Chase Ham over at Pacifica, and Greg Fausto here at Los Amigos at the top of rushing and scoring for the league.
Ryan Cleary set to boom another one into the end zone, and that's exactly what he does. Actually, it's taken at the 1-yard line by Alex Blanco. Blanco spins his way up to around the 27-yard line, so a rare return for Ryan Cleary, who usually boots him into the end zone, but Blanco took it just about, it looks like, at the half-yard line.
Yeah, he must have got it right at the goal line, like you said, Gordon, and did a good job getting upfield and not pussyfooting around and trying to get up as quickly as he can.
Almost looked like he might even have had a foot back in the end zone, but the linesman was back there and gave the okay. So a decent run back, good field position for the Vaqueros on the 26-yard line. 1st and 10. Cosi awaits in the backfield. But the call is to number 81. It's incomplete. That's Taylor Yandel, who made the big play earlier.
Yeah, Yandel was running out of a slot there, and he had good position on the secondary, and John just had to hurry it. You know, he's feeling great pressure again, and so, you know, John had to unload probably a little sooner than he wanted to, but Yandel's got good position, and they might try to come back with that one again.
Got to make those quick plays. 5 sacks for the Lobo defense in the first half on John Frank. 2nd down and 10. Cosi again in the backfield. But this time the handoff to Vickers. Vickers goes ahead to around the 34-yard line. Be a couple yards short of the first down.
Yeah, that dive play is working pretty good right now for Rancho and for David Vickers. He's running hard.
3rd down and 4.
You know, with, excuse me, Gordon, with Rancho shut out so far, you may think that they haven't had much offense yet, but despite the sacks, they've been able to move the ball up and down the field pretty well. Just Los is stiffening when they have to.
3rd and 4. Roll out by Frank. Frank tries to throw it in the middle of a pack of Lobos. Vickers the intended receiver, but the ball bounced around that defense, and the pass is incomplete.
Yeah, John tried to thread it into David there, who was surrounded by a couple of Los Amigos linebackers, and he had a little tip drill going around there, and the ball couldn't get captured by anybody, so now they're in a punting situation with 4th down. John's probably getting a little frustrated right now because I don't think Frank's used to getting pressure like he's been getting tonight.
Gonna have to go to that ground game. Aaron Trigg with pressure of his own and doesn't get a very good one off, but then gets the bounce, and that one will roll all the way down inside the 35-yard line of the Lobos, and that's where they will take over. And there's a flag, and it looks like Rancho just may be coming back out on offense.
Yeah, it looks like you might get a roughing the kicker call on Los Amigos. Aaron's hobbling around.
Not something the Vaqueros want to see. He's favoring that ankle.
Yeah, over the last few weeks, Aaron's been battling some injury problems of his own, so that's not a good sign either, having to get helped off like that.
Trigg gets some assistance off the field. The 6'3", 190-pound senior. There you get a look at some of that coaching staff for the Vaqueros. Don't want to leave any of them out either. Of course, Coach Dean Jacobs, the line coach over there. We mentioned David Singletary earlier. Tim Stark and Mike Langtot.
Yeah, I think what's happening here is they might have the officials might have picked up the flag here and waved the penalty off because it did look like I think what Coach Case is arguing is that the play should stand. I think the officials are telling that the ball was partially blocked, and so they're going to go ahead and give it to Los since the ball was blocked. You know, and the momentum of the Lobo that blocked the punt went into Trigg. So I think they're waving this one off, and Los is going to get the ball.
And the whole Lobo coaching staff out there after the refs. That's a tough call. So first down and 10. Fausto gets brought down around the 40-yard line. He'll pick up another 6 yards or so.
Yeah, again, you're going to see Los going to Greg Fausto and let him run right, let him run left. And, you know, like we said earlier, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. And he's still being successful with his runs.
Thanks again to Los Sanchez Mexican Restaurant located right here in Garden Grove. Give them a call for the freshest and best Mexican food. 971-5883. We thank them for providing all that pregame meal for our crew.
Yeah, you got Tagatuli on a draw play. You know, they came out in trips to the right, and Jake Sanchez dropped back, showing pass, and then he hands the ball off to Sean, and he goes straight up the gut. Looks like Los is now starting to gather a lot of momentum, Gordon. There's a little more quickness in their step, and that line is getting tremendous surge right now. Keep an eye on the offensive line for Los Amigos.
Junior Viola Tom and Greg Fausto in the backfield. Sanchez goes to Fausto. Fausto get wrapped up around midfield. He'll get about 3, brings up a 2nd and 7.
Yeah, here's a key now for Rancho. Their linebackers are going to have to step it up now, and when they read run, they're going to have to pin their ears back and get up there and fill and not let Greg get past that first level of defense, because once he clears that line, he is so dangerous. They can ill afford to give up another score now, trailing 14-0. They've got to get the ball back.
5.5 minutes left in this third quarter. 14-0. The Lobos with the ball and the lead. Play action. Sanchez will keep it and reach back to his roots as a running back. And there's a flag on the play. Looks like there will be a holding call. Sanchez does get enough for the first down, but that's going to come back.
Yeah, you mentioned Jake harkening back to his running back days. Yeah, Coach Takahashi had him on a bootleg there, and Jake does a good job of getting those hips and shoulders and head turned and getting upfield. Unfortunately for the Lobos, they're probably going to get either a clipping or a holding call.
So that sends the Lobos back for a long yardage now. Let's go down to the field, and Jeremy Woods, who's going to update us in a moment on the condition of Aaron Trigg. So we will go to him in a moment. But first, there's still confusion on where they're going to mark the ball. 2nd down and 15 is where they will mark the Lobo offense. Sanchez drops back, has Fausto wide open. Can he catch the ball? Well, Fausto caught up to the ball is what I was going to say. and then he did not catch the ball, so he was wide open, maybe too wide open.
Yeah, they had Greg all alone. They ran him on a fade route, and Bobby Esparza got tangled up on his own feet, and Greg Fausto blew right by Esparza. And thankfully enough for Bobby, Greg wasn't able to handle the pass. But boy, there's another threat on the replay here. You see Jake dropping back and unloading on the fade route, and Bobby loses his footing, which allows Greg to get 15 yards separation, but just couldn't quite hang on.
What a dangerous wide receiver, having Greg Fausto head out like that. 3rd down and 15. Jake Sanchez, play action. Up to the big junior Violatama. Junior will try to bash through a few vaqueros, but he doesn't get very far. He gets up to about the 45-yard line, and they're going to have to punt, the Lobos are. All right, well, let's head back down on the field to Jeremy Woods, who has an update now on Aaron Trigg. Jeremy.
I have an update on Aaron Trigg, the punter. The defensive guy landed on his right ankle. It's been sore. It was already taped. They had to remove the tape. He said he might have heard something crack. They're going to wait and take a look at it, and I don't know if he's going to go back in the game. He doesn't know either. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Jeremy. Hope for the best for Aaron Trigg there. Probably one of the weakest areas that you don't want to have landed on, and that's that ankle. Fair catch is called by number 32, Alex Blanco.
Good pump by Ryan Cleary. It puts Rancho inside their 20 to get things started on their offensive series here. And again, credit Alex, you know, he's catching the punts. And again, it's so frustrating when you're coaching and you got a good running back there, and you're anticipating trying to get some good field position, and then you watch your punt returner let the ball hit and roll back towards the goal line. So well, anytime those punt returners can catch the ball, you consider it a blessing, because you know, at least you're not going backwards, and you at least start out with hopefully decent field position.
So the Vaqueros start on their own 16-yard line. 1st and 10, just over 4 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. The Vaqueros keep it on the ground.
Yeah, Leo Cozy running a counter play there, a little scissor type crossbuck look back there, and it's good for about 6 yards. Rancho's going to have to really dig deep now, because I'll tell you, they're running out of time here in this 3rd quarter, and they're going to have to try to get Leo sprung to the outside pretty soon.
With their big tight end out, Aaron Trigg, still getting worked on the sideline. They're going to need a lot. 2nd down and 6. Little confusion there in the backfield. Finally, it's out to Leo Cosi. Cosi gets the ball and just has to turn it on the speed. He does that. And he'll get knocked out of bounds at about the 46-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, it looked like Cozy on that play turned a busted play into about a 40-yard gainer. I think John was trying to give that dive off to Vickers again, and things got so balled up there in the middle that, yeah, you'll notice on the replay here, yeah, David veers to the right, and John can't give him the ball. The Los Amigos defense has got such tremendous pressure, and then there goes Leo. He's going to counter back to around the left side, and this is what makes him so dangerous.
Back to action. Cosi gets the ball again, goes up the middle, and gets another 4.
Yeah, that's you don't necessarily want to see Cozy having to get open on busted plays like that, but like we said, that's what Rancho needs. They've got to get him out away from all the junk, all the big bodies in the middle there, and let him try to get some maneuverability on the outside.
So it ended up being a bonus for Rancho, because everything almost time for the whistles to blow on that play, and then Cosi pops out, and now they're past midfield into Lobo territory. 2nd and 5, 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Under tremendous pressure, John Frank out to David Vickers. Vickers will get down to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, you know John Frank's getting a lot of pressure when he's trying to retreat 15 yards for a screen and still has to throw it out of desperation. But he did get it off. You know, he's a good athlete, and John was able to get rid of the ball just in time, and David Vickers gathered it in, and like we said, Gordon, Vickers does a real good job of getting upfield in a hurry.
There you see John Frank. 15-yard on that play. 1st down and 10 for Rancho at the 35-yard lines of the Lobos. Again, there's that quick handoff there to Vickers.
Yeah, John and Coach Case are having a little discussion here. I think that Case is telling John Frank that maybe he should have kept that ball and tried to option on that rather than giving it up.
Coach Case sends another play in with Bobby Esparza. Taylor Yandel checks out.
This drive's got a lot of potential here if they can keep things going, if they don't shoot themselves in the foot.
Important drive for Rancho. Just over a minute left in the third quarter, down 14-0. Heavy pressure again. Sean Tagliatulli after Frank. Out to Alex Blanco. Blanco will turn it around and moves up just inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's what we talked about, Gordon, all first half, is letting Rancho get rid of these passes quickly and swing their backs, throw something out in the flats, and let them catch the ball and run, because Los is just so powerful for Rancho right now, especially up the middle, and with them bringing those linebackers just about on every play, you know, it makes things really tough. So John's doing a good job there of getting rid of that ball.
That had to be one of the keys they talked about at halftime, was that, and they've been successful so far. 5 sacks in the first half. They've been successful now getting rid of that ball quickly.
Yeah. Forget the 25-yard route stuff. Let's go for the 5 and run for another 10.
Chew up the yardage. 3rd down and 4. Another quick play. Kosi hiding behind everyone. Kosi will explode into the end zone. Kosi with a flying little end into the end zone and the touchdown.
Oh, there's vintage Leo Kosi for you. Just when you think he's going to get surrounded and stopped, boy, he squirts through, and with that tremendous leg drive, gets himself into the end zone. And now you're looking at a brand new ball game here now. The complexion is changing.
And the footballs are flying on the Rancho side. Talking about in the stands, not just on the field.
That was an exciting run. Doggone, you like to see Leo Kosi run it, because he makes so many things happen. And the extra point is good, a very important extra point.
And this kind of a game, those points mean a lot. There's Leo Kosi. 14-7. The Los Amigos Lobos hanging on to a 1-touchdown lead after a 30-yard touchdown run there by Leo Kosi.
That's right. You'll see on the replay here, we're see, what do we got here on the replay here? You got, looks like you got Alex Blanco setting up in the tailback spot on this play. Yeah, this is where they had handed off to David Vickers on the play prior to Leo Kosi's run, and that's when Case and John Frank had a discussion on the decision that John had made.
Yeah, they just got 1 yard out of that one, but boy, did they get a lot out of that second play. Kosi. 30-yard touchdown run.
As Pacifica can tell you, you can't count Rancho out when Leo Kosi's in the backfield for Rancho.
Unbelievable. Just over 10 seconds left in this first half, and look out, straight up the field. Greg Fausto comes back with a big return of his own. Fausto out to around the 40-yard line of the Lobos. All right, let's take a look now at that Kosi run for a touchdown.
Yeah, this is that swing pass to Alex Blanco. But that's what we talked about. You know, that's going to be successful for Rancho, where you see they can put their scat back running backs on those bigger, slower linebackers, and that's where they're going to have most success.
See, we're making our way toward that touchdown. We're building up that suspense. That's what
we're going to keep the fans in their seat.
All right, well, that's the end of the third quarter. The score, 14-6. The Los Amigos Lobos holding on to an 8-point lead. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter right after this. You're watching Channel 3 Sports on Paragon Cable. To action in the fourth quarter at Garden Grove High School. The Rancho Alamitos Vaqueros and Los Amigos Lobos locked in a battle with the Lobos leading 14-7. We're still checking on that, but that extra point was signaled good by the referee, but they have not indicated that on the scoreboard yet. So we're still waiting for a word on that. The Lobos have the ball after a 30-yard kickoff return by Greg Fausto. They're out at their 45-yard line, 2nd down and 5. Fausto up the middle.
Boy, I'll tell you, Gordon, Los Amigos' line is really getting a push on the Rancho defensive line. When that ball's being snapped, you're seeing the Rancho Amigos defensive lineman in a backward mode. That's allowing Fausto and Tagatuli to get up into that point of attack. And eventually they're going to bust one out of there.
So 3rd down and 2+ for the Lobos.
Rancho's going to need a big defensive effort here.
And they give it to big Sean Tagatuli, who carries a few Vaqueros with him and gets into Vaquero territory enough for the 1st down. He's down around the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Los is giving Tagatuli a chance to get ahead of steam going, Gordon, and he's hitting that point of attack almost with a full steam, and boy, that's going to make it tough for Rancho here. They're going to have to gang tackle, but they're going to have to get up into that hole quicker.
So another 1st down for the Lobos. Into Rancho territory. Everybody that can be as a wide receiver is a wide receiver, but Jake Sanchez will keep it and gets up to around the 41-yard line.
Yeah, Los Amigos came out with trips on the right side and doubles on the left, where they had 5 wide outs, no running backs, and Jake Sanchez runs a quarterback draw. The idea being there is to spread that Rancho defense out, Gordon, stretch them as far as you can, and then see if Jake can pop in between one of the gaps there.
Doug Case working the sidelines. 9 minutes and 40 seconds left in this contest. A little reverse and a little flea flicker. Jake Sanchez, they're trying everything now. Look who's wide open. That's number 80 for Los Amigos, Joel Morales. And boy, what a play that was. Takes time to develop, but it worked.
Yeah, you got a little double reverse pass going there, and when your secondary gets caught up in trying to follow the ball, they lose track of those receivers, and Los Amigos executes the, you can see the reverse here, and then the pitch back to the quarterback, Sanchez. And Sanchez lets it fly, and boy, I'll tell you, he's got 10-yard cushion on any of the Rancho defenders. And, you know, we talked about that earlier, Gordon, with Coach Takahashi and his bag of tricks.
And that was one that he reached down deep for. 1st and goal for the Lobos. Fausto up the middle, trying for his 3rd touchdown on the night. He'll be stopped just short. And good news for the Vaqueros, Aaron Trigg makes his way back in on defense.
That might be just a little too late, I'm afraid. I don't know the way Los is going here.
They certainly have the momentum now in this game.
At the 2, you can see they're, they put, yeah, they got Fausto setting deep. They're going to probably run him off tackle.
But they don't go anywhere. Flags fly on the play. Got number 12 checked in there for Los Amigos. That's Tong Nguyen, a wide receiver.
Well, there's a break for Rancho, Gordon, with illegal motion on Los Amigos.
So that'll march him back and now make it 2nd down and 7 for Los Amigos. 8.5 minutes left in this game. (14-6) the score in this contest, and Fausto will just try to bullet his way in for the score, and he does that. Fausto add another 10 yards and a touchdown to his numbers.
Greg Fausto there, Gordon, did a tremendous job on sniffing out that goal line, and he just put his head down and wasn't going to be denied. He got his nose and that football over the goal line, and sign of a good running back. Not only is he quick, he's smart, and he got his shoulders squared up. You can see on the replay here, he's tracking off tackle, bounces outside, and then watch him. He just puts it down and gears right in for the end zone and dives forward.
20-6. Ryan Cleary tries to add another, and he kicks it onto the tennis courts just about. About a 50-yard field goal there.
I think that's an exclamation point to the touchdown there.
To turn that thing down. 21-6. Los Amigos up and stretching their lead. 8 minutes and 18 seconds left in this one.
Yeah, needless to say now, Gordon, Rancho's back to the wall. They're going to have to not only score, but they're going to have to score quickly because, you know, like Rancho, Los Amigos can control that ball. And they got a good ground game going against Rancho. So for Rancho to get back in this thing and have the potential to win, they're going to have to score and score quickly.
Well, we talked about the score a little bit earlier. They had it looked like they had indicated the extra point on the Rancho touchdown was good, but there's been no indication on the scoreboard, so apparently that score will hold, that we have not seen that change yet. So just updating at this point, not really a factor in the contest, but the Lobos with a 21-6 lead, 15-point difference. Ryan Cleary set to kick off. Back to Alex Blanco, and another one into the end zone. Alex Blanco went back to take that one and ran into the ref back there.
Yeah, Ryan Cleary's doing his job tonight, Gordon. He's not allowing Rancho to do much anything return-wise.
A little earlier, we saw the, between quarters, we saw the little piece run there about sponsorship and what we're trying to do here at Channel 3 Sports on our games of the week, trying to get some local sponsors involved in some of our broadcasts so we can expand our coverage. And we want to hear from you, whether it's just comments about our broadcast or if you're interested in sponsorships. We want to try to extend our football season into the playoffs. We'll try to do that if we get some sponsors, and also into some other sports. That's our goal also. There's a good play on first down by Rancho Alamitos. Out to number 81. That's Taylor Yandel. He's made some big plays so far. He's out around midfield.
Yeah, Yandel, Gordon, did a good job of getting himself open again out of that slot position. He runs up into the seam, and John Frank hit him right on stride. And you couldn't ask for the ball to be put. You'll see here on the replay, John Frank going to Yandel. Yandel setting the slot down on the right side, left side of your screen at home. And you've got a three-step drop by John and lets it fire right in the seam there. And there's nobody. And Casey or Yandel is able to gather the ball and keep running. And that's a good throw by John.
A 30-yard completion for the Vaqueros, just inside Lobo territory. First down and 10. The clock continues to run. 7 minutes, 40 seconds left. Look at the man move. That's Leo Cosi. Breaks one tackle and is able to at least get back to the line and maybe gains a yard.
Yeah, Leo did a real good job of getting back to the line of scrimmage and maybe scooting for a yard there. Things were pretty balled up off a tackle there.
Cosi, 5'8", 175 pounds. He is packed in there.
It's quite a package.
Second down and 9. Clock in the Lobos' favor. Runs with 7 minutes to go in this one. Rancho down by 15. Frank turns quickly, but is met by number 7. That's Ikai Taula.
Yeah, Los Gordon tonight has had tremendous success of rushing off the flanks there, particularly backside on John Frank, and Rancho's not picking that up, and consequently John's just not able to get time to throw the ball.
So Taula gets credited with the sack.
Yeah, the problem there, not only does Los get the sack, and not only does Rancho lose the yardage, but the clock keeps running, and now they've got to use one of their timeouts to stop the clock, and that's going to be critical before this is over.
And we were talking about the extra point that was apparently missed by Nick Ortega, and that definitely is a factor, provided Rancho can score on this drive, and eventually, you know, they'll be forced into a 2-point play.
Yeah, for Rancho to win, that means they're going to have to go for a 2-point conversion on both scores, because they're going to have to get 2 touchdowns here, at least. So You're right. That's a big miss. Coach Case in there and trying to plot a little strategy here. You might see him trying to go back in the seam with Yandel again or swing it to one of the running backs.
And don't forget, next week, game 3 of our 6-game broadcast. Los Amigos back here at Garden Grove High School to play Garden Grove. That game on Saturday. And Los Amigos Lobos in a good position to win this one tonight. And hopefully their momentum can carry. Meanwhile, the Garden Grove Argonauts still trying to get things going over there. The rough start with the season running down for them. 6.5 minutes left. Frank comes up short, but there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, they try to get Yandel up in that seam again out of the slot, which is what we thought they might try to do. That's been a successful play for them, and I think they're going to call this tipped ball intercepted by Los.
And it looks like that's what they are going to call it.
John Frank, when he went into his 3-step drop, when he was delivering the ball got tipped somewhere along the line of scrimmage. And I believe they're going to call that an interception.
So that's a tough situation now.
Yeah, here's the replay, Gordon. We'll see here. John's on his 3-step drop. And as he gets ready to deliver, you can see the ball gets tapped or touched there. And boy, that's a nice dig.
Tough call. He caught that, looked like just off the grass tops. Fausto gets brought down around the 40-yard line. Not much of a gain at all. And boy, you almost want to see that replay.
Yeah,
you know, at a different angle or closer, because it almost looked like he didn't.
Looks like the ball was trapped. Yeah, it looks like it was trapped. But again, you know, we don't have the vantage point of the officials, so.
They made the call, so it looks like the Rancho defense now pumped up, trying to stop the Lobos and get the ball back as quickly as possible. 2nd down and 13, a loss of 3 by Fausto and the Lobos. The ball almost picked off there by Joel Morales, or almost completed by Joel Morales, and almost picked off by Sean Young.
Yeah, Sean did a good job there, Gordon, of playing his area. It looked like Rancho dropped into a zone, and Sean was playing his area, and when the man entered into his zone, he broke on the ball and did a good job of busting things up. But you're right now, Rancho's got to come up with a play. They've got to get a turnover, create something to where they get their hands back on the football.
Oh, this play can't be any bigger for them. 3rd down and 13 for the Lobos. 5 minutes and 22 seconds sit on the clock. 3 wide for the Lobos. The fake to Fausto. Sanchez has some time. Gets it out to Sean Tagatuli, who hits off his hip, and the ball will be incomplete.
Play action there, and Jake Sanchez put a real nice ball in there to Sean Tagatuli, and Sean just had trouble holding on.
Sanchez
now it's 4th down.
Limps off after he got hit right after he released that ball. So the Vaqueros come right back, and their defense makes a stand, and they hold the Lobos.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Gordon, Rancho had to have that 3rd and long. They had to hold Los and get the ball back.
Now the Vaqueros will try to apply pressure to Ryan Cleary, who's back on the 25-yard line. Here comes that pressure, but Cleary will get it off. A nice spiraling kick to Blanco. Blanco will cut up the right side, and the cheers from the crowd as he gets tripped up there by number 40 for the Lobos, Luis Rojas.
Yeah, Rancho had a picket set up on their bench side of the field, and the roar you heard was for a vicious block that was laid on one of Los Amigos defenders. And Alex tried to spin out of it and couldn't quite elude the defender. So Rancho picks up on their 38-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 38. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in this one. John Frank running the offense. Frank fakes one to Cosi. Heavy pressure out to David Vickers. Vickers with a nice catch around the defender, Junior Violatama. Vickers gets out to the 45-yard line into Lobo territory.
Yeah, there's that fullback through and out route to David Vickers that we were talking about earlier, and they ran pretty successfully in the first half, Gordon. And David gets out, he shows that he's going to block and then slips out into the flats. And on the replay here, you'll see John Frank reversing out, and there's David slipping out. The linebacker, that's a tough play for that linebacker, and because he's such a disadvantage, because David's got the speed and the quickness over him. And again, there's a good example. You get the ball out in the flat and let David run with it.
Caught right over the shoulder of the defender there.
Yeah, that was a nice ball by John.
Timeout is called. 4 minutes and 11 seconds left. Rancho has the ball, down by 15, 21-6. Greg Fausto, the running back for Los Amigos, with 3 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, he's had a vintage Greg Fausto night, and that's what makes him so valuable. Not only does he run the ball, they split him out and run him as a receiver. He plays defensive back. He's on the kickoff team and the kickoff return team, and the young man seems like he's never off the field.
One of the hardest working men here out on the field, getting a lot of play time, getting the ball a lot.
Well, again, Rancho's in a situation now, Gordon, where they've got to score now. I mean, they can't afford to waste another minute, literally, because with 4 minutes left, Los is going to at least get their hands back on the ball for another series. So
this clock is running.
Critical, yes.
Coach K still out on the field. Makes his way back to the sidelines. They had started the clock. Looks like they did put the time back on, though.
And the officials put 7 seconds back on the clock that they had lost.
4:18 is the clock. First down and 10. Frank across his body to Aaron Trigg, and it slips right through the fingers.
Yeah, Rancho had set up a screen to Aaron Trigg on the right side, but Los Amigos sniffed that one out pretty well, and you had Jake Sanchez over there defending Trigg. Even if that ball would have been caught, I think Trigg would have been dead in his tracks.
Yeah, Luis Renteria was right in his face, ready for him once he made that catch. Frank Ortiz checks in with the play to John Frank. There's Luis Renteria. Second down and 10 for Rancho. Looking for a big play. Pumping once is John Frank, and he just couldn't quite lay it in the arms of Leo Cosi. Check that, that's number 81. Taylor Yandel, who's made 2 big plays already in this game. That was at least 30 yards.
Yeah, that was an interesting play there by Rancho, Gordon. What they did was they had brought Frank Ortiz underneath. They gave a little slip screen look, and John Frank pump faked, and that allowed Yandel to get deep, and he'd clearly beaten the secondary. John just overthrew.
John Frank tried to buy him another second there, and a rare double pump opportunity for him. 21-6 is the lead for the Lobos. 4 minutes and 7 seconds left for the Vaqueros. Try to get back in this one. This time, John Frank will keep the ball, tries to pump and tucks it, finally throws it away. John Frank throws it to number 55. That's Emmanuel Ramirez, who gets the interception.
Gordon, in all fairness to John Frank on that, they came out in a trips formation again, and once John had to start scrambling, his receivers stopped moving their feet, and John really had nowhere to throw the ball. You see on the replay here, he steps up, and now he starts to scramble, and he's putting the ball up, trying to get a receiver moving. Nobody's moving. Finally, he tries to throw it in, and 55 steps in front of his intended receiver, and that could be the play that seals the game for Los Amigos right there.
A tough end for the Vaqueros drive. So the Lobos take over, and probably not real hard to figure out that Fausto will be carrying the ball quite a bit in this last 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, Gordon, you're going to see bread and butter here, with Fausto right and Fausto left. Keep it on the ground, chew the clock up, Rancho's had to burn. I think they've got all their timeouts burned now, and so it's pretty much hopeless for them to try to stop the clock. Lowe's taking their time, trying to eat every second they can.
LaRue Carr gets the call. LaRue Carr is sprinting up the sidelines and gets up to about the 40-yard line. LaRue Carr is someone we haven't seen too much tonight.
Yeah, they run LaRue on a reverse, a real nice play. I think that Coach Takahashi might be disappointed in that play was that Carr ran out of bounds rather than staying in and keeping the clock running.
3 minutes and 8 seconds on the clock. The Lobos have the ball at the 40-yard line of the Vaqueros, trying to add to their 15-point lead. There you take a look at
Carr running out of bounds there and should have stayed in. Keeps the clock moving.
Flag is thrown. A legal procedure called against Los Amigos Lobos, so they'll march back. Let's go back down on the field and check in with Jeremy Woods. Jeremy.
Well, guys, on that last interception by John Frank, Coach Doug Case wanted a late hit, which would have given them a first down. He didn't get it, and instead, Emmanuel Ramirez got a second pick off of the game, and now they're in not a good situation. Talk to you later.
And there's Junior Violatama. Junior Violatama, the big tight end, will bowl his way down to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Violatama came across on a little slice or scissor play across the center, and oh my gosh, things opened up. I think everybody's looking for Fausto to get the ball, and Violatama does a tremendous job. He's got good speed for a big boy, I'll tell you. He moves his feet.
Violatama, someone you want to get out of the way for. 260-pound, 6'2" tight end, just a junior. 2.5 minutes left in this one. Jake Sanchez swings one out to Greg Fausto. Fausto tries to work his way back up the middle, and he'll get another 5-6 yards out of that one.
Yeah, you see Greg bouncing off of a couple of would-be tacklers there. You know, I'll tell you right now, setting a screen to Greg on the left side, but I'll tell you one thing. If you're over on the Los Amigos side right now, you're excited. You can feel it. You can smell the victory coming, and you've got the ball, 15-point lead, 2 minutes to go. You're knocking on the door again for another score, and so you're feeling pretty good right now if you're on the Los Amigos sideline.
Just over 2 minutes left. Fausto will get another one. Stays on his feet. Down to inside the 10.
Yeah, good runners like Fausto Cozy, Chase Ham at Pacifica, Danny Doe at Garden Grove High. Sometimes when these guys get hit and they're about to go down, you'll see them stiff arm, or they'll put a hand down on the floor to catch their balance and to keep going. And you know, these guys, they don't want to be denied. They want to get into that end zone, and you know, that's what they play for, is to carry the ball across the goal line.
As long as you keep those knees off the ground.
That's right.
1.5 minutes to go in this one. Ball on the 5-yard line. Fausto. And a flag will be thrown.
Yeah, you got bodies flying, and then there go flags flying, and you're going to get unsportsmanlike conduct here on somebody.
The play looked like it was well over, that's for sure. You know, these two teams have met 23 times since 1970, and Rancho Alamitos has the big advantage of 14 victories to 9. And of course, in the 1990s, this Rancho team has just been dominating. They've been to the CIF playoffs every year this decade.
That's right, Gordon. Rancho's got quite a football tradition, and I tell you, they've carried it to the extreme in the 90s. You know, as you said, getting in the playoffs every year and twice going to the finals. So, you know, they've got a proud tradition over there.
Los Amigos, the team of the 80s, was very dominating back then. Fausto loses the handle on that one. The ball is loose. It's still bouncing around down there. Finally, Los Amigos falls on it, and it's a touchdown.
Oh, my goodness. I think that ball touched and left probably 4 different Los Amigos players before a 5th one finally fell on it for the score.
Oh, there's a play that
looked like a rugby scrum down there.
Exactly.
Oh, boy. What a way for Los to finish.
Still trying to get the number on who actually
there's the
piled on
replay there.
that.
You just see a bunch of bodies all over the place, and I think number 70, number 70 for Los Amigos, David Mejia, alertly pounces on the ball, and that big lineman gets a touchdown.
Probably couldn't be more happier to get that. Ryan Cleary makes it 28-6. Under a minute left to go in this one as the stands begin to empty here on the Rancho side.
Well, Ryan Cleary puts another exclamation point to another touchdown with driving the extra point off the track. And for Rancho now, it's just a matter of keeping their chins up, not caving in, and finishing this game the way they started it.
Rancho will fall to 2-1-1. Los Amigos improves to 2-1. Of course,
excuse me, Gordon. If things hold up like you said earlier with Santiago and Pacifica will be sitting on top, and like you said, in a very enviable spot. All alone top, and Santiago will be hanging right with Los at 2-1.
Los Amigos ranked 7th in the CIF Division 7. Rancho still in there too, around the 12th spot. And there, once again, Ryan Cleary sends Alex Blanco back into the end zone for a touchback, and that'll come out to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed there, Blanco tried to catch that ball and not land in the end zone. He tried to jump up and catch it and stay on this side of the goal line, but he just couldn't quite do it. And again, Ryan Cleary has given Rancho pretty poor field position all night long with kickoffs after touchdowns. So he's done his job, and they're quite a weapon.
Probably hoping one of these days he'll be able to kick a field goal. Not needing him in a game like this. He has the ability to definitely hit the long ones. Rancho keeps it on the ground. Cosi gets the call and just keeps mowing over the defense.
Right now for Rancho, that's just as good as any play. Give it to Cosi. Let him run. He'll run for as far as you can pass it more times than not. So
clock is stopped for another first down.
Yeah, again, unfortunately, by having to run, though, you can't get the clock stopped, and it's just a matter of time now before Los is going to be able to celebrate a victory.
Clock continues to run, just over 30 seconds left. Frank drops back and will throw one up. David Vickers just out of the reach of him. Clock stops with 31 seconds left.
Yeah, they went back to the well again with that pass play to David Vickers running through and out, and it appeared to be a pretty good ball by John, and it just ricocheted off of David Vickers' hands. It's kind of been the story all night for Rancho. They haven't been able to move the ball, though. They can't be totally disappointed.
Again, Cosi with the ball. Of course, early in the year, we talked about that Pacifica game. That was a very impressive showing by Rancho, down by 14 late in that game. Come back for the tie and almost had an opportunity to win that one.
And I'll tell you, Gordon, I'm sure Coach Takahashi reminded his football players of that. It's no lead's ever safe when Leo Cosi's in the backfield, and the defense did step it up in the second half and did a tremendous job.
The final play of this one.